341 lives lost and almost R1 billion worth of damage. That's the tragic cost of floods that have hit KZN. The death toll is expected to rise as search and rescue operations continue. eNCA's Siphamandla Goge joins us now with the latest. Siphamandla, officials continue to stress that the number of fatalities could still rise given that several people still cannot be accounted for. How are rescue operations as well as evacuation operations coming along at this point?
Well, they are trying all they can. That's authorities and rescue operators trying to rescue those who are in desperate need of help. Many people are still missing across KwaZulu-Natal. It's not only in eThekwini that is heavily affected by this. All regions and districts across the province have been badly affected. Of course, eThekwini is the worst hit now with more than 300 people dead, the biggest number of those people being in eThekwini, but districts such as iLembe, Umzinyathi, Umkungundlovu, as well as Uku are some of the districts that have been heavily affected. I'm sure by the end of the day today we will get an updated that toll figure, and it will include other regions in KwaZulu-Natal such as Herigwala, if I'm not mistaken, because we've been receiving reports that some people as far as Herigwala have been reporting that their loved ones are missing. So the length and breadth of KwaZulu-Natal has been affected by this. We find ourselves in Inanda, Mawoti. My hard-working colleague Olani Tele will show you here. People of Mawoti are using this burst water pipe to fetch water, to collect water, because it's the only source of water for now. It looks clean, but it's worrying because this is a burst pipe. The water there, the quality of the water may not be conducive for drinking, perhaps for washing, cooking and cleaning it could be used, but for drinking I'm not sure about that. But how do you tell these people that they cannot drink this water, because it's the only thing that they have, it's the only source of water that they can find. As you can see there, they are trying to clear the queue because there is a congestion. So what you do, you just take water and pour it at people and then they will just move. So not so much of a fight but a scramble for water right now in Inanda, Emawoti. The queue is very long. On top of this road you will see that the queue is very long. People queuing here since the early hours of the morning. Yesterday we were here the whole day. This is what people are doing because they say they do not have any other alternative to get water. It's been days now without water and electricity across KwaZulu-Natal, and it will continue to be like this for a number of days. Now, sawubona ma unjani? Ngiyaxolisa ukukuphazamisa, ngiyabona umatasa la uyawasha. Isimo samanzi sinjani? Inkinga ingakanani?
Sanibona abantu basemzansi, isimo samanzi siyabheda kakhulu. Bevele singenawo amanzi vele, kodwa besibuye siwathola komakhelwane. Kodwa manje ngoba kubuya isikhukhula nje, hayi kunzima, kuyabheda njengoba nibona nje ukuthi kunjalo. Ngiyabonga.
Ngaphandle kwamanzi yiphela unyusize nilidingayo, izindawo zokuhlala nazo, ugesi ukhona?
Ugezi asinawo, uhambile izola noma sobuyile ngoba ngisokungakabuyi kumanje. So luningi usizo esiludingayo, luningi ngoba abanye babindikele na imizi, ibona abadinga usizo kakhulu impela.
Well, basically the lady, they're telling me that they need more help in terms of shelter. Some people lost their houses. She says they need water, electricity. Many people need food as well as clothing because they couldn't be able to take their stuff when the floods attacked. So you will see, as Kolani will show you again, these are the scenes that you will continue to see across KwaZulu-Natal. Everywhere there is an open pipe that has got water coming up, out. People are utilizing that as a source of water. Yesterday I spoke to the Deputy Mayor of eThekwini Municipality, Pilani Godfrey Mavunda, who told me that, well, it appears as if water now is becoming the main challenge after these floods. He says people are literally scrambling for water, and the water infrastructure in eThekwini will take time to fix. Let's take a listen to what he said about the issue of water.
But now we're starting now to have a water war. People are fighting to get water. I was flying over Ndengezi today. The truck that was there trying to give people water, they finished the whole 15,000 liters in one spot. That is what's happening.
Siphamandla, no, the situation remains very dire, but are social partners perhaps coming forward to contribute towards these relief efforts, because clearly government is very stretched at this point?
Very stretched. There is nothing much they can do in terms of resources. They need each and every help they can get. Right now they will need technical expertise because they don't have much in terms of resources. That's why KwaZulu-Natal has been declared a disaster area, so that help from the National Treasurer can be accessed, emergency funds. There have been concerns raised about the possible misuse of those funds. The Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, saying they will ensure that those funds are not misused here. The Deputy Mayor of eThekwini, Philani Godfrey Mavundla, saying the infrastructure alone will take a lot of time to rebuild and they will require billions to fix what has been damaged. Let's take a listen at him, or let's take a listen to him talking about the issue of the infrastructure in eThekwini.
I was flying up. I counted over 20 bridges just around eThekwini that you've got people that cannot go to the other side. That is the situation. You've got schools that are not accessible. That is the situation.
No, honestly, the rebuilding is going to take a lot of billions. But insofar as anxiety levels are concerned of community members, how are they? Because more rain is expected, albeit a bit less than what we saw this week. But the ground was completely saturated, Siphamandla, at this point. So one would assume that any amount of rain could collapse structures that were already hanging by a thread.
Indeed, that's the biggest concern right now. Remember, not much has been done in terms of starting to fix the damaged infrastructure and to fix roads and bridges. Any drop of rain that comes right now will cause more anxiety for those who are the victims of the recent floods, but also for the authorities, because they are still busy with cleanup and mop-up operations, trying to clear the mud on the streets, trying to ensure that at least key infrastructure is fixed so that people can get access to water and electricity. Those are the basic services that people are preoccupied with right now, including authorities. So with the South African Weather Services predicting that this Easter weekend, KwaZulu-Natal or some parts of the province may experience rains, it's disturbing in a sense that people are still trying to rebuild their lives. So it will not be a good sight for many people in KwaZulu-Natal, but authorities are hopeful that at least by next week they would have been able to assess the damage, and they will then start with quantifying the extent of the damage so they can start to rebuild the infrastructure. I think the most important thing right now is to assist those that have lost their loved ones, those that are in hospital, look for the missing people as we speak, and then after that deal with the psychological trauma of ensuring that the survivors and those who lost their loved ones psychologically and emotionally they are okay. Provide any relief for them to bury their loved ones while we are busy fixing roads and bridges that have been washed away, so that we can be able to start to rebuild the city and the economy of the province as a whole.
No, Siphamandla, most certainly they will need assistance, particularly on the psychological trauma of all of this that has happened. Thank you very much, Siphamandla. We'll leave it there for now and catch up with you a bit later on as the day progresses. That's senior reporter Siphamandla Goge out in Mawuti in Durban.